This is the K6TU iPad app, and so I'm going to demonstrate it working with SmartSDR on the Flex 6700. On the right here you see the SmartSDR application. It's a TCP/IP enabled application that runs on Windows. It will also eventually run on Linux and the Mac OS. On the left is Stu, K6TU's iPad controller for the SmartSDR application. So we'll begin with some of the basic things. What you see here in the blue is a slice receiver. So that's a channel to receive audio. If I unmute the radio, you can hear it where it's not quite tuned. I can slide the frequency across here, and exactly tune in a radio station as you hear. As you hear, this is a foreign station. I'm going to mute it again so that you can hear what's going on. You also have the ability to type in a frequency if you want to, just by double tapping, and you can just type in the frequency that you want on the application, hit return, and you notice that it corresponds to 14.3 megahertz. You have the ability also to change the band. So this is a different radio frequency spectrum that you have the ability to change to. You have the ability to change the modulation type. This band happens to use lower sideband, which is LSB on the application. You notice that the filter changed over to the left-hand side. You can change the receive antenna. So it's presently on antenna 1. I can change to receive antenna A, which is the only other antenna I have hooked up to this radio, back to antenna 1. You can also change the transmit antenna over here. You have the ability to send a tuning signal out just by pressing the tune button here. If you notice, it went into transmit, and it's putting out about 10 watts of RF power. You have the ability to monitor when in various modes. You can manually key the transmitter there. This is to bypass the antenna tuner, which is not presently engaged. This radio does not, or this antenna that it's on does not need to have that enabled. Here you can unmute. You can change the input signal and where that comes from for the audio. You have the ability to make it voice operated. So you can turn on voice activation. You can hear I'm keying as I talk. You can change on a preamp, put on microphone bias, and enable the accessory connector here. This is the delay, and this is the delay for the Vox, or voice operated squelch, or voice operated transmit signal rather. This blue bar represents how much bandwidth or how wide the signal is. You have the ability to change the left-hand side of the signal or the right-hand side, or you have the ability to slide the entire passband wherever you want it. I'll go back to 2.7 megahertz, kilohertz rather, which is the standard on this band. So back to 2.7 kilohertz. You also have the ability to add another slice receiver just by touching the plus sign up here. You notice I've now added another slice receiver B, and I'll tune it over here so that you can see there's now 2 slice receivers, both enabled by the K6TU iPad application. I'll mute that one as well just so you can hear me. You have the ability to change the tuning step so that you can tune more quickly if you want. This is going to be quite fast. You can see it's tuning quite quickly when you change the tuning step to 250 hertz. I'll go back to 10 hertz where it was, which is about right for this application. And you can see I can tune that slice receiver back and forth. You also have the ability to turn on and off the noise blanker. There's really no noise in this area, so it doesn't help. To turn on noise reduction. And if there were a signal that was objectionable, we call it a carrier. Let's see, I just saw one. There's one there. We can notch that out if you'll come back. Oh, he's not going to come back. You also have the ability to change the mode, so you can change from lower sideband to Morse code. I'm trying to keep this in lay terms for the people that might be watching it. And now you have the ability to change any number of parameters. I'm going to mute this again, including some of the other parameters that are located here on the profiles, which enable you to change the voice optimization, the keying speed for Morse code, some of the other Morse code parameters. I won't explain those here. The microphone or audio input, and the amount of carrier that you would output with an AM signal. So it's quite a complete application. It's very handy for controlling the radio from an iPad. It's going to be a must-have application for all ham radio operators, and we're really excited to have it. Thank you. This is Mac W4AX.